everybody. Welcome. Welcome. I don't have the camera on me. Here I is. Hello.
There you are.
I'm Aggie.
Hi, I'm Shelly. We're going a little crazy tonight.
Yes, we are.
Jumping from one live to the next live.
Yes. That's how we do it.
Busy girls.
Oh my goodness, we just had such a fun time. My face hurts from smiling. I just love getting together with everybody and letting the members talk about their art, and it's just so fun. So we shared our Christmas trees over on where did we share that, Shelley?
We shared it in the Christmas tree roundtable group. I think we shared it to Aggie's
on my
page.
Right, on Agnes Friedlander Art Studio page. So tell them what we're doing tonight, Shelley.
We're just gonna relax and breathe and have a little something, some refreshment. I'm having actually I have painter's tape on mine. I'm having caramel apple crisp tea.
Ooh, that sounds so good.
It is really good with salted caramel matcha. So that's in my glass. So we're just going to relax. I did put I offered another tracer at the website. So it's these 3 pumpkins. It prints on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, but it does, it works on the 9 by 12 because you kind of want some extra, around the edges. We were trying to print it right before we went live. For some reason, the website is saving it as a WebP file. So when you download it, if you click on the download and save it as a JPEG, it does save like that. I just experimented with it before we came live. So if anybody has any trouble, let me know, and I'll make sure that you get.
Are you saying that I have to resave it? No, you already resaved it, right?
Well, I did. I tried to put it listed again, and it still shows up as a WebP, whatever that is. I'll have to. I need to do some research on why it's doing that. But once you download it and you have the WebP file, you can save it as a JPEG, and then all the print things, all the things look right again.
Okay, I have it in a folder on my iCloud drive, and I right-click it. And how do I do a save as JPEG? Sorry.
I think you open it. You go ahead and open the picture.
Okay.
Try not to run
Aggie likes this format. I think that's the problem. Did yours open with preview?
Just when I clicked the download, it opened. You know, when you download it, it shows up in your downloads.
Yeah. Yeah, it won't open for me. I'll just draw it. I don't know why. I'm sorry, Shelley.
It's so weird because the last one that you did worked.
No, it didn't work. What do you mean?
The other tracer that I surprised you with last time?
Yeah.
Yes, Michelle, it's in. If you go to thepaintersjourney.com and then I can't get it either. That is so weird. Maybe it's not liking it because there's a limit to the number of links we can put in one page.
Oh, maybe.
So I might make another page. So keep looking there. Actually, maybe I'll just try to do it here and see if it works. Nothing like.
It probably makes more sense for you to. I was going to say I could do it, but then you'd still have to first upload it.
Yeah, it's uploaded, but that's okay. So let's see.
Sorry.
Nothing like fixing the website or trying to fix it. I didn't change anything other than just adding another link.
You know what I would talk about briefly then while you're doing that is, let me move my camera so you can see my face at least. If you are new to this, and you know you want to paint with us, and you're like, oh my goodness, that's such a massive supply list. Let me show you the supply list. It is a big supply list. Where is it? And of course, these are still up there. This PDF download with the suggested, you know, list of supplies is still on the paintersjourney.com. I don't know how long we're going to leave it up there, Shelley.
I don't know either.
But so, you know, we're talking about watercolor paper, and we're talking about paints and brushes. But if you look over here in this one section, we're talking about using a split primary palette. So if you haven't heard of what a split primary palette is just think of the primaries, red, yellow, and blue. And the split is warm and cool. So you want a warm and a cool of each primary. So it just sounds really complicated, but it just means like warm red would be an orangey looking red. Cool red would be magenta. So I have all those suggestions right there for you. So for instance, the yellow, I'm suggesting permanent yellow deep. For the cool yellow, permanent yellow lemon. So you just need 2 tubes of yellow. You need a warm red such as Scarlet Lake and a cool red such as quinacridone magenta. And then for your blue, you could use like an ultramarine blue deep. These are all Holbein colors, which is what I recommend. Holbein tubes of 15 milliliter tubes of paint. So ultramarine blue deep phthalo blue yellow shade. That's the more turquoisey blue. Oh, we've got some comments here. I need to have my comments showing. Hi, Michelle.
Michelle finally got it. Yay.
Oh, yay. I don't see that comment. Now I see it. It just showed up.
It's just gonna be an evening of technical issues.
Comedy of errors, right? Let me go grab it.
What did you do different? I haven't loaded the new page yet, so I don't know what she did different.
Oh, so she got it from before?
Yeah, she got it from.
Save image as. I'm going to put it on my, and it has a number 2 on the end of it. Oh, no, that's because it's the second one. I'm going to put it. In there. I renamed it, so. And, you know, I have it open on my screen, but I can't print from it for some reason. I don't know why.
Can you save it from that open screen, though? That's where I saved it from.
Oh, my goodness. It was choosing my label printer. I think I got it. Oh my goodness.
So were you just able to save
So what
it?
I did, I printed it from the dock at the bottom of my screen. That's what worked. I finally got it to open. Sorry, Shelley. I guess it was me being, I'm so sorry. It didn't work the way I normally do it, but it did work. Thank you. So anyway, yeah, even I have technical issues.
It's our world. Now my camera's gonna blur out and be weird.
So I got it. Yay! Look how cute it is. It's gorgeous.
I'm gonna delete that page from the website so that it doesn't.
All right. I need to go trace this on here. How am I going to do that? I'm going to grab I think I have a light box right here. So I'm going to use, I've got some Arteza, how do you say this? Arteza?
Yeah, I always say Arteza, but
Arteza?
yeah, I never know.
Do we want to do this view or the wide view,
And my
Shelley?
camera is like,
Maybe this view is better. I don't know. So this is what I'm going to use. And, you know, you want to use 100% cotton paper. You're just going to have so much better results that way. And I like taping it down to a board, which I forgot to grab one. So let me grab one.
I have mine taped to my stolen board from my and you can just barely see my sketch on there. I've taken my oh, this camera is going to make me crazy. I've taken my rubber eraser, my kneadable eraser, and gone over all of the areas just to really make that pencil as light as I can, because once we watercolor over it, it's not erasable anymore. So we've talked about the kneadable eraser before. I love these for lots of reasons. They are fun to play with, but they're also, you can shape them to get into certain little areas, and they don't leave the little eraser
Fibers.
whatever they are. Yeah, they don't leave the little rubber bits on your paper. So if you don't have, they're really cheap. You can get them at Hobby Lobby. If you don't have one, it's a great little tool to have. I just don't like all of those little bits flying around when I use the white eraser.
Oh, I hate that. Nobody likes a hairy watercolor paper.
Nobody likes that.
Oh my goodness, I'm just behind the gun today. Well, you know why? I'll admit, I needed to just kind of chill out and I needed to just eat lunch and watch some TV for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
What an indulgence.
We have to do that though. You know, it's just it's important to do that. Usually, even if I'm taking a break to have a little TV time, I'm still looking at the website and doing things there, or making notes of other things I need to do.
I'm always looking at Messenger, at the questions and comments, and
yeah, so it's not completely just a veg out, but it is nice to get away a little bit. I got away and got my hair done.
it looks so nice.
I don't know, my computers are so.
You're a little blown out, but yeah.
The screens in front of me are bright. And I tried to change the brightness of this front screen, and I'll have to ask my tech husband. Nothing I did was affecting that screen.
So I am going to try something a little bit different, and I sent some of these to Shelley. I'm going to try the Winsor and Newton gray markers.
Oh, the markers, yeah. I got that was kind of scary. Your camera changed while you were not there.
Uh-oh. And what happened?
It just moved. It was just like,
oh, a bird went by. So I found these on Amazon, and I want to try this tonight. I'm just going to trace with this right on there, and I don't mind if the gray line shows. We'll see.
I got mine too. It's a cool set. It's got, I think, 3 different sizes, 0.1, 0.3, and 0.5, I think.
Yeah, and it's a pale gray.
Really cool.
Gosh, how do you get these out of here?
They're taped on the back.
Remove that tape from the back. It'll help. Hello.
I'm going to get a bigger brush out since this is so much of a bigger piece.
Oh, look at that. How nice the nib is.
I know. It's real long too. I don't know. I like the length of that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'll link those. Let me get it up over here.
It is such a fun time of year when we can do all these pumpkins and things like this, you know?
It is. It's fun.
Oh, thanks for sharing those for her.
If I can find them. I'm finding everything but the 3 pins set.
Oh, I can probably go on my orders.
Oh, here it is. I got it.
Winsor & Newton fine liner fine point pen set of 3 cool gray.
I got it.
Okay. It's a really nice pale.
It's going to probably show up there twice. I don't know why it does when I comment on this one. It only showed up once. I guess because we're only streaming to one place.
Yeah, I think so. I know it still freaks me out when I see it pop up 2 or 3 times. I'm like, oh, why is that happening? And then I remember.
It freaks Aggie out too when she looks up and sees that she commented something and she doesn't remember commenting. Like, how'd that get there? That was me. I did it. I'm the problem. It's me.
I love these curly, cute leaves.
Yeah, do you notice like that middle one, the edge kind of folds up like it's folded on itself?
Yes.
And then that little squash blossom, pumpkin blossom, kind of in the middle there too. So it's kind of that elongated leaf. You could certainly paint
I see it. I see. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, you could certainly paint it as a leaf, but anybody who doesn't know, well, and I'm not an expert. So maybe there are other colors of pumpkin blossoms, but the pumpkin blossoms I know of are yellow. So
I'm going to make it longer and bigger. And they kind of look twisted, right? Or no, maybe I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, so this one is they open up. This one is kind of, closed bud. It's kind of just the bud. But you could open it up and make it more of a flower. I'm going to try to turn my camera down. And try to not have too much of a shadow on my paper.
And the cute curly cues.
That's why I went and grabbed, I got these in the mail this week. The little wood scratcher. It ended up being a little bit smaller than I thought, but I think it'll store nicely.
Oh, I'm sorry. I still have the camera on me and I'm not showing what I'm doing.
It's a nice, a nice sharp tip. So
nice.
I'm excited to try Aggie's little trick.
Yeah. Walk softly and paint with a stick. Something like that.
I had them in the studio. I was I was sending an order to Liz, so I sent a few extras to her. They don't, they're just like, I think they were like $7 for 40 of them. I'll never use 40. Michelle says, I don't go out of my house. I order everything. That's so, it's so me. That's me. I don't, I drove into town the other day and I said to my husband, wow, the river's really down. And he's like, honey, the river's been down for like a while. I'm like, yeah, I don't drive in. I don't know. I don't see it. I was getting my hair done and well, we were actually talking about the retreat and she was like, well, that'll be good. You'll get out and get away. And I think that was her nice way of saying, stop being such a hermit.
No.
I just, home is my happy place. It's every time I go out in the world, I run into people who are crazy in traffic or people who are crazy in stores and just be like, I just want to go home. Yeah. I understand what you mean, Michelle. I feel like I was talking again with my hair lady about that too. I haven't had COVID, knock on wood. I really don't want it. So I'm very careful too, but I understand definitely.
Michelle, did you ever get COVID? Hopefully not.
Ugh.
Because I know that you might have some immunity issues going on, right?
That's what she said, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm not really looking. I'm still trying to catch up here.
Hi, Dolores. Hi, Liz.
Hey, more friends stopping in. Hello.
Yes, we had trouble downloading some Michelle had a little trouble with the tracer. Aggie had a little bit of trouble with the tracer. Hopefully you guys don't have trouble with the tracer. I'll pull my tracer. My lines are so light, so it might be hard to see, but that's the tracer. Michelle had it twice.
Oh, you did? I had it twice also. Was the first time a lot worse than the second? The second wasn't as bad for me.
My daughter's family just had it again recently in the last couple of weeks, and she said that time it was so much worse for them. I don't know what this strain is that's going around now, but it's not something we want to get for sure. So for anyone popping in, this new tracer is available at the website. So at thepaintersjourney.com, if you click on Tuesday Night Live, it's called the Three Pumpkins tracer, and you can grab it there. I was just pointing out to Aggie, it's on an 8.5 by 11. I'm painting on a 9 by 12. So the leaves go off the side a little bit, but you can kind of just draw them in. This little flower is kind of a pumpkin flower bud. So if you want to paint that as a flower, you can. You can certainly paint it any way you like, but that's what it was intended to be when I drew it.
Doing yours in, do you know?
What's that?
What colors are you doing your pumpkins in?
I don't know. I haven't had time to think about this very much. I didn't plan, and I'm such a planner.
It's progress, though. You know that? I consider that a really good thing. That is the coolest thing that you just said that.
Yeah, just to fly with it and see what happens.
Yeah, because I mean, a matter of months ago, she's like, "You want me to go live? What?"
Well, a few months ago, I would have painted it about 5 times, just before. And even when I started going live for the Procreate classes, I would do that too. I would paint it like 5 times, and then go live and paint it.
Aww.
I'm going to leave you for a second and go figure out what Higgins has up there. So I will be right back.
Uh-oh, Higgins has something.
He's doing something.
So if you have any questions at all, pop them in the chat, please. If it's your first time joining us, welcome. We just love making new friends. We have been really enjoying coming on here live, sharing these watercolor classes. You know, they're not too heavy duty. They're user friendly, beginner friendly. You know, we want to build community here and have a good time. So we have shared a guide with a lot of information that you can download at thepaintersjourney.com. And this will be the first time tonight that I really want to use my Neptune brush. Now this is, I think it's called a squirrel. Let me go look up on Amazon what it's called. I'm not into making money off of, you know, I don't endorse products and make money off of you purchasing stuff. I'm not into that stuff. You buy whatever you want. It doesn't, you know, but I do like recommending things that work for me. And I'm kind of forgetting what this particular one is called, but I really love this brush. The Princeton Neptune series.
Is that one the number 6 that you're holding up?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I have here too.
Princeton Neptune, I'm typing into Amazon, and they do have a couple of different sets. So here it is, Princeton Brush Neptune. It's $23, but it's worth it. You'll use this one so much because it really holds a lot, but it also gives a really nice fine point. It just becomes, I don't know, it becomes so easy to just use this all the time. And I do suggest that you paint bigger. Don't be safe and stay small. You got to get expressive and get a little bit bigger. This is an 11 by 14 sheet of 100% cotton watercolor paper. That's another thing that is really, really important, to use the 100% cotton paper. You'll have much better results. So I think I'm seeing also on Amazon that they've got a squirrel size 12, and that's a nice one to have. And I also recently got myself this one. It's called a dagger. I haven't used it yet, as you can tell. It still has
the daggers
sleeve on it. And I've been mesmerized by some of the videos of some of these watercolorists are so talented with what they do, you know. And I think I saw a girl doing something with a dagger.
That's actually why I first got the dagger, was because I saw somebody using it. I thought it was so.
That is why we get it. Let's be honest.
Well, and so we were.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we were talking the other day about what the difference is between an angle and a dagger brush, and I think that you can see it. If I can get my camera.
Oh, yeah, it was such a good point you made. Yes.
You can see how it just has a much more extreme angle and comes to like this a really, really fine point.
Yeah.
So it's just really, it's really fun. I wanted to sit down and play with it just on a piece of paper, just, you know, just kind of see what it will do. Yes. Michelle said, I would never know that about Shelley. Do you mean that I'm such a homebody? My kids, when COVID first hit, they were like, this is my mom's kind of thing. She likes to be at home anyway. It's not, I enjoy going out. It's not that I don't like to go out. I just, you know, home is so.
She's very happy to be home.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. My puppies are here.
Really love her house. Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. Today, when I was chilling out, it was, first of all, such a beautiful day here.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was finally just relaxing, having lunch, watching some TV, I'm like, life is good. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, my house looks so pretty. It's beautiful outside. The sun is shining and everything is still green here. I'm like, wow, I'm just very, very blessed. You know, this felt real nice.
Michelle said, no, she was commenting on that I'm not comfortable on camera.
Oh, no, the very first time I'm like, holy cow, girl, you are a natural on camera. You are so much better than I am on camera.
I'm just like,
I don't think she believed me. She is really good on camera.
If you could take my heart rate before I, as the timer clicks down to going live, you'd be like, oh yeah.
So I'm going to try and organize my table to get everything to fit in here. It's not easy.
I know, it's such a big, I've got the camera and the light and
I'm still figuring it out. Okay. I like having the paper towel here. And once you figure out a system, that's what you'll do every time. Because you want it to become, what's the word, rote? Does anybody know what the word rote means? Like automatic, like you don't even think about it. And it's muscle memory. So I recommend you always use the same jar so that you get used to, exactly where to rinse and how to wipe it and get back to your palette and back to your paper quickly. Is that, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I love that. You had talked about that first, one of the first lives, and I thought that was such a great tip. I had never, just kind of had the same, usually when I watercolor, I'm just at my dining room table or something, and I just grab something. So I've been, since Aggie mentioned that, I've been using the same water vessel, and it does help. It helps to know where it is. Debbie likes staying home too. Yeah. Maybe it's an artist thing too. We just like being at home.
Yeah, I think most artists really just enjoy, staying in their comfort zone and, not being overstimulated by too much stuff. Because most artists are very sensitive and very aware and take in a lot. We take in a lot. And it's easy to become overloaded, right? Liz says, I'm a homebody also. I love having everything delivered. Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
And it's a delivery kind of world now, I tell you that much.
Yeah.
You can get everything delivered.
Well, I find that even now, if I do go out to a store, I'm frustrated because I can't find the aisle that it's in, or they just don't carry it, or. So the other thing that I like to do is always orient my palette the same way. So, does that make sense? I always kind of have it, then you learn where your colors are. You can easily reach up to the color that you want. So I always lay the palette this way.
You know what? Maybe I'm going to do something just a little bit different while you're doing that, Shelley. See how this goes. Because last week I never did fill in my color wheel. Oh, suddenly I feel warm. I'm going to open up this. I put on a red sweater because we did that Christmas video.
Oh, that's fun.
And but I've got a nice cool breeze that can come in here. Oh, that feels much better.
Michelle, so you are my hero. You have, I don't know. You're a strong lady.
200 surgeries. Holy cow. You're amazing,
You're
Michelle.
a superwoman.
So we've got two different little color wheels here. And again, this is on one of the downloads. I think there's 3 different downloads in there, right, Shelley?
Yeah, we keep adding stuff to it.
So I'm just going to get my lightest, brightest, coolest yellow and put that at the top. That'll be that one.
Yes, if you missed our painting with the triads last week, go back and watch that. That was really, really fun to play with colors. Michelle, have you gotten any watercolors? I always forget. You may have posted. I always forget who says they have them.
And this is what I think is my main red, the Scarlet Lake. Putting that there. And then for blue,
multi-million-dollar chick.
yeah, no kidding. For my blue, I think I'm going to use ultramarine. And of course, I never remember which one it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How bad am I? This one.
That's a pretty new palette for you, though, too. So
yeah, I'm really not used to it yet. Okay. So then I've got several steps in between here to get from my cool yellow to my red. So I am going to do some color mixing here. But I have whatever you have on your palette that is a straight up color you don't have to mix that's in between, I would throw that in there, decide where it goes. So for instance, I've got an orange and I've got a warm yellow, you know, my other yellow. So maybe I'll put my orange here.
we're here for you, Michelle. We know it. We know you've been watching and here for us, so we're here for you.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
also very new to, I mean, I've watercolored a lot over the years, but not a lot lately. You know, so we were talking about that at the last live. You know, every time I get the watercolors out, it's, you know, it's a little bit of, just take a little bit of time to get used to it again, kind of remember it, but you quickly catch on and kind of, you know, kind of get the feel for what the paper does. When you have really good paper like this, you can see that I'll like lay in color and then rinse the brush out and come back with a clean brush and take some of that color out to get, you know, some of those lighter areas back. This blue that I'm putting in right now is, it's just going to be the shadow of my pumpkin. So I'm going to come in with orange in a minute. So that's what I'm doing. Yes, she is an inspiration. That is definitely for sure. We have lots of inspiring ladies in our group that inspire us every day.
So what I'm doing is I'm doing the exercise. The reason for this exercise is to kind of get more comfortable with my pigments, you know, and see what I get from them. So I do want to label them. And, you know, again, this is just for you. Make this work for you. It doesn't have to be real pretty, you know. I mean, it's for you to become familiar. So I'm going to label, like, this is my Scarlet Lake. This orange was my Brilliant Orange, and I really do love this Brilliant Orange. So that was straight from the tube. Oh, actually, no, this was the Brilliant Orange. I kind of mislabeled that. This was actually a mix, so let me erase that. I should have grabbed my kneaded eraser. Don't you hate how sometimes you get that lovely surprise from a bad eraser? It's an eraser gone bad.
I'm very careful about the erasers I put down because you make one mark with a bad eraser and it's curtains.
Yeah. And I don't know where my kneaded eraser is. I need it.
Dolores says she's been watching and have watercolors but haven't gotten them out. Need to do that. Just need to find the time.
Oh, well, I can't find my kneaded eraser.
I love watercolors because I feel like it's the thing I can do. If I know I just have a little bit of time, I just want to get a little bit of art time in. It's watercolors, I don't know, for me have always been just something I do for myself. Dasher, Dash, stop. So I like when I do something just for myself, I I don't have any pressure, you know, it's just for me, or it's a little sketch. I have the little sketchbooks that I've been doing little paintings in that I'll give to my grandchildren someday. So it just takes the pressure off. It's not, you know, nobody else is watching usually. It's not a big deal. I can just relax with it. Dasher. Oh, Michelle,
Okay,
Michelle said, "Can you show me how you go about setting it up?" Michelle, what do you mean setting the palette
I
up?
don't.
Yeah, let us know what you want to see, and we'll show you.
So what I discovered is for me to go from this yellow to this red, I can use straight up tube colors of permanent yellow deep and brilliant orange, but I needed to do some mixes in between. So this is a mix of cool yellow and warm yellow, and you get that nice, real sunshiny yellow. It's, you know, in between. And, you know, when you go to, when you go to mix this together, this is good practice for you. You know, grab the yellow, the light yellow first. Anytime you're adding a bit of a darker color to a lighter color, go easy on the darker color. Get the light one first, put that on your palette. So I put the cool yellow, then I got just a little bit of my permanent yellow deep and added just a touch of it and put it on there, and decide if you want it to be more, if it needs more of the permanent yellow deep, then just dip into it, and you can just kind of dot into it, like dropping more of the pigment into that puddle of color, and it will distribute it. You don't even have to worry about it. And that's what I did also with, you know, this mix. I got the yellow deep, the permanent yellow deep, added a tiny bit of brilliant orange to it. And if it's way too orange, you can always, like Shelly said, make your brush a thirsty brush by dabbing it on your paper towel and mop up that excessively dark color, and then come back in with the lighter color. Okay, it looks like Michelle's got this question.
Yeah, so Michelle, if you go to thepaintersjourney.com and download that original PDF, there is a picture within that PDF that shows my palette colors and how I have them organized in my palette. And it shows Aggie's colors and how she has hers organized. So basically what I chose to do was start with the blues down here. So I have these 4 blues, and then I actually have a new blue that Aggie sent me up here. That's the peacock blue. So then I go into these 2 greens, kind of a warmer green, a cooler green, the mineral violet, reds, pinks. I did get the Chinese white. I've kind of enjoyed it. I know not everybody likes the white, but I kind of like playing with it. So then on the other side over here, I have the black, the browns. This is the Payne's gray. This is the brilliant orange, yellow ochre, the yellows, and then that blue again. So to set it up, all we do, I've got a rogue dog hair in here, of course. All you do is take that small vial of paint. I got the small ones, the small watercolor tubes. And you just want to put the tip of it kind of down in this bottom corner. And you just kind of windshield wiper it back and forth to fill that deeper area, and then let it get kind of shallower as it gets to this end. Because as we paint, we're going to kind of, you know, pull into that thinner area. So if you fill that in, it will, you know, your paint will set up nicer and last longer for you. So then when we're ready to paint, we just squirt it. Aggie and I both like these misters. These are those misters that.
One thing. Let me just add one thing. Sorry.
Okay.
You want to let that dry
Right.
overnight. Maybe even 2 days, depending on the humidity in your area.
Yeah.
And then what I did is I went in, see how I have like a divot? The divot is kind of nice. You don't have to do this, but with a wet finger, you can kind of push it into shape and make a little divot in there if you'd like. You can kind of, you know, if some of it got out of control on you, with a wet finger, you might be able to still push it back, but you have to let it harden a little bit, Michelle.
Yeah. So
Okay.
then after it's dried, what I did was, you know, sprayed it down and made my little map. And I always have it with me to refer back to. I did mine on watercolor paper. You could do yours on anything that you like, but then I just, you know, labeled it really nice. So I'll always be able to figure out which colors. At some point, I may splurge and get some more colors and need another palette. But as you know, I really am a big fan of the limited palettes. So it's kind of fun to get to know these colors and be able to use them. So Michelle, if I missed anything, let me know. We're happy to talk more about it.
So then over here on my color wheel, I'm going to come around. How do I get from this cool yellow to this ultramarine blue? I'm going to try and go, so halfway in between would be green, would be a true green right here. So I guess what I think what's logically going to make sense is to get my permanent yellow deep, get some of that over here. And then I'm going to go grab a small amount. I don't even really have to rinse my brush. A small amount of ultramarine blue and bring that over here and add that to my yellow. And I'm going to go ahead and fill that in here. Now that looks more like a yellow green now that I have it on there. And of course, you know, we talk about this all the time in the membership. Color is relational. And I couldn't really tell if I had it blue enough until I, oh, she's showing what the hole is for. What the hole is that hole for?
What the? That's what it's for. If you, it's kind of for plein air painters, or I know I don't probably say that the way that the French do, but it's for people who like to hold their palette versus. Is it?
I think so. I mean, I've heard people just say plein air. I don't know what's right either, to tell you the truth.
I've heard plein air too, but it always feels weird to me. So it does look like a toilet lid. It does. Close up there, you toilet lid. We don't need any of that here.
Yeah. So it was a little too yellow green, so I added a little bit more blue to it. And it's kind of ugly, but doesn't matter. It's getting me halfway between the two. That's the point, really. So now I want to just go a little bit gradually from that color to that color. So I'm just going to add more yellow. Here's with just a tiny bit of green. Let's see if it fits in here. Maybe I need more. So this is very, very good practice because you are also using your eyes to evaluate, to compare, to try again, all of these things. This is part of being an artist, problem solving. Do I need more yellow or more blue? What do I need to do here, you know? That needs to be a little bit greener. And of course, it is going to dry a little bit different, but that might work. Now I'm going to go over here and go from this green to this blue. I got a hair over here. Oh, Shelly changed it up. and went from blue to a
Yeah.
really deep burnt orange.
So I like to use that blue undertone as part of the shadow, since the blue is the complementary of the orange. It just gives a real interesting shadow, kind of helps build the shape a little bit.
So I just grabbed a little bit more ultramarine and added that to the puddle that I had to see how that might work. And then I'm just going to add a little bit more ultramarine. So what you might notice as you're doing this is that on this one, the reason why this one got quite a bit darker is because my paint was thicker. So that comes with practice, knowing how much water you need in the mix to make it the right value. So I'm just going to do what we said before. I created a thirsty brush. I rinsed my brush, and then I dabbed it on my paper towel. And I'm going to come in here and pull some of this up off of there to lighten it a little bit. And I think that helped. Actually, I really like that color a lot. Now, when I mix these three together, let's see what we get. So we need a little bit of yellow, blue, and red. So here's my red. Find a clean spot somewhere. And again, wiping my brush correctly. I have it pointed downward. And sometimes I have to really wipe it a couple of times to get a drip to come out of it. If I have too much water in this brush and I go to mix my color and a bunch of water comes out, it's going to ruin my mix. It's going to be too watery. It's not going to be the right value. So that's why I want you to get used to one jar and you know, rinsing and wiping it against the rim to control how much water you have left in there. So, okay, I've got my my red. I'm going to add yellow to that. And now, even though I have it in my, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and put it in there. So I have a true orange. Now I'm going to rinse and grab the ultramarine blue, add that to this. And it looks green. It's supposed to be gray.
What two colors did you, which two did you use?
The three primaries.
Oh, okay.
Yellow, red, and blue. So anytime something is very green, what do you think you need to add to it? The opposite. So that would be red. Let's see what happens if we make a little more red. That was a lot more red.
I always also think of the complementary as a way to tone it. So a lot of times I'll paint something out. It looks too, I call it elementary school. You know, it looks like,
yeah.
You know, so if you add a little bit of the, whatever the complement is, it kind of settles it down a little bit.
So it's like a burnt orange now. I think that's as good as it's going to get. So anyway, that would be one way for you to, you know, practice, practice making a color wheel, see if you can get them all of similar consistency in their value. I think I did okay on this.
That's fun. I like that.
They do dry differently. They sometimes dry, well, not sometimes. Watercolors dry about 20% lighter. So again, that just comes with the more you do it, the more familiar you are with looking at it wet to kind of perceive what it's going to look like when it dries. But I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Yeah, so, I kind of find sometimes I like it better after it dried. Like I'll leave it and think, yeah, it's just okay. And then I come back and look at it and go, oh, I kind of like it. But you can always start out, you know, sneak up on it a little bit. Start out a little bit lighter if you want to. And then you can come back in after your painting is dried and add more if you want.
So last week we did, was it last week, Shelley, we did these triads, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
And these were really fun. So you could go back and look at last week's video if you would like. I was very intrigued by this
Me
triad.
too. Yeah. I wonder what I
And
did. Oh,
so I found myself thinking today when we were going to do this painting, I'm like, well, I don't know what colors I want to use. So I think I want to use these colors. Now it might be a little bit kind of boring. They're very earthy and, but I don't know. I'm so intrigued by that's what feels right to me. And of course, I think a lot of being an artist is trusting your gut and going with what you feel. Right, Shelley?
yeah. I think that when you start to reach a little bit is when you really grow. When you start to, go, well, what's the worst that can happen? I'm gonna have to come in and pull this together another way. There, we can always fix it, but just try it. You might, usually the first paintings I do, I like much better than if I try to recreate the piece because I just was kind of
Yeah.
making it up as I went along rather than following some, rule that I had set for myself.
And I love this mister bottle because it sprays a long time and it's a nice light mist and it's a consistent spray.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this on Amazon, just, Mr. Water bottle. I don't know.
I love that
You're gonna
too.
mist your paints. They were pretty, since I have this window open next to me, they kind of dried out already, so I misted them again. And so, there's wet on dry, there's wet on wet. It looks like Shelley is painting wet on dry. I'm not sure though. She might have slightly wet paper. I'm not sure. I wasn't watching.
I really like for my style, I like to paint wet on dry. This
Okay.
paper is a little bit wet from the blue layer I did, but it's pretty dry. So it's kind of an in between for me at this point, but that's my preferred way.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of clean this palette off. I don't really want these colors. A lot of times you can just leave these colors on there and let them become part of whatever you're doing. But I really do want to stick to this raw sienna, burnt sienna, and Payne's gray is what that triad was. So I'm just kind of mopping all this up. How long are we going till?
Gosh, it's already 7 o'clock.
I know. It's crazy. I'm going to get some fresh water.
I think that my boys are going to want to go out relatively soon since we were live. What time did I start going live earlier? I did the video on finding tracers for our new members group, new members guide. And then I did the wood cutouts for the Santa Claus. And then we did then we did the Christmas trees.
That's a lot.
And now this, my poor dogs are like, good grief, girl. It is so funny though, when I say, let's go teach a class, they both head down the steps. They're like, all right, we know what that means. Yeah, they know.
Cool.
So they're here for you. The boys are helping teach this class while they nap. So as you guys start to paint and experiment with your watercolors, remember some of the other rules that we use with our painting. Use the biggest brush that you can. Start out with a brush maybe even bigger than you think you're comfortable with, and then then move down. But you're going to be lots freer if you try to use the biggest brush you can. And with watercolor, it's really nice because it holds that liquid, so you get lots of those fun effects of those bleeds that come in. I love those. Oh, I will share my dogs with you virtually, Michelle. They're
Yeah, Michelle. Oh,
they're amazing. First thing this morning, I had the boys out, and Higgins is just a year old, so he's pretty impulsive. He's just pretty impulsive by nature, but I usually have him out on a leash, and they're working next door, so there was a lot of guys out there. So I had him on a leash. I put him back on the deck, and then I took Dasher out. And just as Dasher went out into the yard, a little boy ran out of the house 2 doors down, and Dasher was like, "I'm going," and he went running over there. So you can imagine the boy was probably 4, a little 4-year-old boy with a 150-pound dog running at him.
oh.
But Dasher was so gentle and so sweet, and just walked up to him, wagging his tail, and wanting attention and some. He loves kids. He just can't help himself.
I noticed that about a lot of dogs. They love kids.
Dasher really doesn't. He's not. He's a little shy around people, but kids are that's his thing. So with the watercolors, as you're painting, if you're noticing that, you're getting bleeds into the other area, I don't know if you can kind of see this. I was doing those sections side by side. If you don't like that look of that bleed, you can let that area dry a little bit, move on to the other side and come back. So it's all about, really controlling the dampness of your paper, learning how to get what you're looking for from your piece. I am noticing that this bigger brush is making my paper towel wet quicker.
Yeah, it really does.
It holds so much water. It's an amazing brush.
So I'm starting with my warm tones. And I'm trying to keep just a couple of little white sparkle parts open. Which I have to always remind myself, don't fill the whole thing in. Leave some little air holes. Okay. And the fun part is adding the blue. So you could let it just mix right on the paper. Now we're getting into it.
Now we're getting quiet. You can tell when you're really thinking because you're not talking anymore.
So, I mean, that's all it needs. I don't need to keep poking at it and messing with it because it's, my first layer. Okay, what color do I want to do on this one? Maybe this one will be more of the like a greenish blue. Just trying to do this, quickly, not be too persnickety about it.
I'm so terrible at quick. Aggie's much better.
I kind of ruin stuff if I'm too, but see, that's what I'm saying. You have to respect what works for you, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and what you have fun doing,
Yeah.
it's if you're doing it and you're thinking I hate this all the way through, then it's a good indication to, look at doing it a different way. I think I'm going to do a leaf maybe.
So I'm just looking for edges to soften now.
Asher, good Lord, boy. Hopefully you guys can't hear him just licking incessantly. It's driving me crazy.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was worried about. Charlie, he was suddenly doing that. But Dasher does that all the time, right?
He gets, I don't know, he gets in the zone, I think, and he just keeps going, and it's like,
Yeah, I think that
dude.
can happen. Yeah.
And he is more susceptible to the hot spots than Higgins seems to be. I think Dasher has, even though they're brothers with the same dad, um, Dasher has a little bit more of the poodle that came through strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have kind of a different style, which is fun to watch.
I'm glad, I'm glad we do.
Yeah. So I talked about this in one of the lives before, but it really does make a big difference if you're doing things like leaves that you want to have, you want them all to kind of go together a little bit. For me and my style, I find that it's better if I try to kind of do them all together. So this pumpkin, he can kind of be his own color and his own thing. So I don't have to worry about doing all three of the pumpkins together. But these leaves, I might want them to, look like they belong together. So I'm going to try to walk the paint around to all of those kind of at the same time to get some of that same look. If I came back tomorrow and tried to, paint a different one, it's hard to make them kind of go together. And because I'm slow, I often come back tomorrow do and add more.
I don't think you're slow. I think you're doing fine.
Aggie finishes like a whole painting when I'm still like on the first bit.
Well, I would call these studies. These are like just kind of like studies. Takes the pressure off.
Yeah, it's just fun.
And probably the stems, I would wait till this was totally dry and come back to do the stems. All right, what color? This little guy in the corner here that we can't even see. Maybe he needs to be just a lot more blue.
Might need a smaller brush for this little area.
I feel like I hear some weird noise.
Hopefully,
Do you have your air on or something?
you think it's a weird noise from here? It's probably my PC, the fan on the PC comes on.
Yeah, I bet that's what it is.
I have an older dinosaur PC that likes to run the fan all the time. I don't know. I always get the hand-me-down computers. I wonder where Marcia was today. She must have had a busy day.
No, we missed her last week too, right?
I can't ever keep track. I can't remember. Maybe. It's getting into that busy time of year.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of a crazy little bell, pumpkin.
Fun shape. The hummingbirds are really flying around my house now. You can tell that they're amping up for their trip south.
Yeah, my friend Trish posted something about what you should put in their feeders so that they can get ready to trip.
really?
Like, wow, how thoughtful. I forgot what it was, of course.
Yeah, I feed the same thing all year. But I do use, I think usually they say like 1 cup of sugar to 4 cups of water. I do 1 cup of sugar to 3.5 cups of water. So it's my nectar that I make for them is a little bit stronger.
So this is bleeding into that pumpkin, but I don't know that I mind that a whole lot. All right, I think I am going to switch to a smaller brush. And I just love this little peachy blossom. It's so pretty.
It's so cute. It's nice to have a little flower in there.
Yes.
So we need to decide what we're going to do next week. I thought we were going to do something that I think we decided not to do today.
Oh, yeah. We decided to make that an actual class.
Yeah.
Got another pumpkin, but it's such a gorgeous cutout that we're going to make it into an actual class. Yeah, we got to come up with something else.
Gotta do something else.
So my greens are going to be a little bit weird and muted, but that's okay.
I can tell my burnt sienna is a color I'm going to run out of faster than any other color.
Yeah. I actually have a really giant tube of burnt sienna by Winsor and Newton. I should just send you that because I'm like, oh, what am I going to do with this?
What am I gonna do? Keep losing track of which green I wanted. Which hole was that in? Sorry, bud. There's always a dog behind my rolling chair.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be careful where I roll.
Yeah, slow your roll.
Yeah, I like, ah.
So sometimes you just have to let certain areas dry so you can work on other spots,
Yeah.
which is kind of where I'm at. So I kind of need to use the ladies' room.
Need the ladies' room.
Apparently I forgot to do that between lives.
Well, you were busy getting to Charlie.
Yeah. You still want to go a while?
I probably need to get the boys out pretty quick too. I need to take water down to the chickens.
Yeah.
Maybe we can come back and do more of this next week. That'd be kind of fun,
Yeah. I think so.
Just to keep going next week.
So when it comes to washing the brushes, really all you need to do is gently rinse them. This water is just a little bit dirty, so I'd probably dump that out, refill it with fresh water, and then just gently rinse. You don't need to stab these onto the bottom or anything like that. You just want to gently swish them around in nice clear water, and that's all you need to do to get the pigment out. And then I like to just kind of, roll them, twist them to a point and lay them down. You don't want to stand them up. Just lay them down. And I like using a dish, a dish mat, a dish dryer, one of those. I like using that. I usually just lay them out and let them dry out. And then after they're completely dry, you can then you can stand them up.
Yeah, I like reshaping them. It's nice to take a moment to get them kind of back into shape, because however they dry, that's kind of how they're gonna stay. So just
And
take
then
a
I've got
minute.
this really, kind of still wet palette. So I wouldn't really close it while it's like this. If you were out doing the plein air painting, it would probably dry out pretty quickly anyway. But if you did still have puddles, you might want to just dab those with your paper towel so that you could close this and get going. But since I'm at home in my studio, I'm just going to leave it open and let it dry. And really, that's why they're so convenient and easy.
Mhm.
Just walk away right now. I mean, I could just leave these brushes that I've pretty much shaped. I could just leave these right here and, I'm good to go. Just leave this and leave that and just go.
And I love that whatever paints are left on the palette, next time when I come back to paint, I can, reuse these little bits of color that I've mixed and that go with this painting. With acrylic, once it dries, you're kind of done. But with these, it's nice to be able to come back and reuse them. So that adds another level of ease to them. You're right. You're not worried about wasting paints or anything like that. You can just walk away from it and come back and use it again.
Right.
I love it.
I'm trying to get my camera here so I could say goodbye. A little bit low.
Oh, cha-ching.
Hello. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us. I hope you got something out of this. Let us know if you did get something out of it. Put that in the comments. We're so glad you're here. We hope you come back next week. We're here every night, Tuesday, for our Tuesday Night Live with Aggie and Shelly.
Yeah.
And if you want to see more of what we have to offer, go check out thepaintersjourney.com. We offer, we have a journey box coming up, the Red Barn journey box. I'm really excited about. Can't wait to do that.
It's flying out the door. People are ordering it a lot.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
It is a really special piece. I think I have my, this is the PDF workbook. So that's what it looks like if you haven't seen it. This doesn't do it justice. This is just printed out on regular paper.
Piece. Thanks for hanging out with us, Liz.
But we hope you'll join us if you haven't. Go check out the website, and I think that's it.
Yeah, check out the website. If you haven't been to our Tuesday Night Lives before, check out the other Tuesday Night Lives. We've got lots of tracers, lots of fun, free content, and of course,
you can still go to the Haunted Mansion. We've got a really adorable Haunted Mansion, really adorable witchy shoes. You don't have to get the cutout. We do offer cutouts for both of those. You could just paint them. Grab the free tracer and paint them.
Definitely. If you have ideas of what you want to see us do in the weeks coming up, please let us know. I think that maybe we'll do another week of pumpkins, and then maybe I'd love to switch gears to Christmas watercolor. I'm loving the watercolors. So
yeah, me too.
But let us know if you have something you want to see.
Oh, I love what's happening there. I mean, I'd like to just leave it,
Mm-hmm. I love that dark one. See how it came together?
Yeah, sometimes it's nice to just leave it real spontaneous looking. So anyway, thank you so much, you guys, for hanging out, and hope you have a wonderful weekend coming up. Wonderful weekend. See you then. See you later. Bye.
Good night.